Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, SpiderMan. Hey everyone.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Film Artsy, your #1 source for all things films and movies. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a track record of making great films. But in these great films during the production cycle, sometimes scenes that were amazing still get cut out just to make the runtime of the movie fit better into what they're aiming for, or scenes are taken out to kind of work within the pacing of the movie or character development. There's a lot of features and reasons why scenes might not make it into the final release of the movie, but either way, when we do get to see these scenes, they're pretty amazing. That being said, today we are counting down our picks for the top 10 deleted scenes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's get into it. Number 10, Vision's birth in Age of Ultron. This one's really interesting because for the most part, the core idea of this theme did make it into the final cut of the movie. However, there was a version, a much longer extended version of Vision's birth that didn't make it into the movie. Let's play the original scene first so you can kind of see how it played out, and then we'll play the deleted scene right after. Pretty simple with the exception of a little bit of action, and let's play the deleted scenes version. Kind of interesting to see that the Vision was going to almost play as like a villainous role in just the middle part of the movie here, where they fight for a little while before finally coming together and working together, which it looks like it would have ended on that same note, maybe having a fight scene messed with the pacing. But I mean, this fight scene was long, but still it was a pretty interesting scene to get to see in the deleted scene section. Number 9's a quick one, but still a great one, coming from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, when Peter gets the Zune. Honestly, there's just kind of this really comedic interaction between the two characters, kind of figuring out the Zune, and it's great.
Now just show me how to work this thing.
Well, the turny thing there makes the songs go up and down. Made by primitive people.
That is
Show
primitive.
you some of my favorites. It's got Traffic. That's really good. They have some good songs. Thin Lizzy is a group I like a lot. There's a lady on there named Alice Cooper that I like a lot. She seems kind of angry, but kind of like stuff we felt when we were kids, you know?
Cat. There's a cat.
Number 3 comes from Thor Ragnarok, which had a lot of really great scenes that didn't make it, and one more besides this one made it into this list, but this scene makes a special appearance that was deleted with a cameo of Yondu, who, if you didn't know, is Peter's adopted dad in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Executioner?
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hey, hey, hey! Stop it! Hold on, right there. Easy does it, hoss. Wait a minute. You know where Kevin and Lou's offices are, y'all?
Down that way.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Go ahead, proceed.
Number 7 comes out of Black Panther. It's actually a scene we wish made it into the final cut, even though there were so many scenes that had to kind of compete for space in that movie because it was so well done. However, this scene shows a lot more into the character of W'Kabi and who his character is, and kind of drives more of his motives and makes him not kind of look like this traitor character, but much more of a three-dimensional character, and it lets viewers kind of get into his head, which is really nice and interesting for character development. But I guess when it came time to make some cuts, this scene did not make it in.
T'Challa told me to my face right here that he'll bring Claw back. Did he do it?
He had him. T'Chaka stole him from our
I don't care! Claw stole from us! He murdered my mother and father! 30 years there's been no justice, and T'Challa swore to bring him back! Not taken to the UN, not taken to the CIA, but bring him here to us!
Number 6 would have been a perfect post-credits scene from SpiderMan Homecoming. However, it didn't make it into the final cut, where we have Donald Glover's character who is still stuck to the car after being interrogated by Peter Parker, and he's trying to get out, he's asking people for help, he's getting ignored, and it's pretty funny. But at the end, there's a reference to Miles Morales, who, if you don't know in the comic books, is a second Spider-Man, which is really cool.
Excuse me. A human being needs help.
Hate this dude, man. Yeah, sorry, Miles. I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, I'm just stuck.
Number 5 comes from the first Avengers movie, which actually did a pretty decent job at really showcasing kind of the perspective of a regular person in New York during the attack that happens in Avengers. They show a lot of first responder characters and even just a casual waitress character who had a pretty lengthy role, and it almost feels like a short film taking place within the Avengers, and it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it already. Number 4 comes from The Incredible Hulk, the 2008 one starring Edward Norton. And apparently at the very beginning of the film there was an alternate introduction that they originally were filming that shows Bruce Banner trying to kill himself, and apparently this scene was scrapped because they wanted to kind of make this film a sequel to the 2003 Hulk movie, so it needed to start in South America instead of in the Arctic. But had they stayed with the Arctic introduction during the avalanche scene, for a very slight second you can actually see Captain America's shield underneath the snow, which this was a couple of years before Captain America: The First Avenger came out. Kind of an interesting Easter egg, especially because we know that this Marvel Cinematic Universe was kind of in production for quite a while. Number 3 also comes from Thor Ragnarok, which has a pretty interesting interaction between Thor and Bruce Banner, and there's this really weird scene going on in the middle of the table that's just super awkward. It's a really long scene, which is great too, and it has a lot of comedic clips and quips and whatnot, so it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't already seen any of the deleted scenes from Thor Ragnarok. They are A+.
Cursed to fight amongst ourselves while everyone else suffers for it. Now Asgard's in ruins, and well, this sister Hela, I don't even know if I can beat her.
You're Thor. You could kill your sister.
Yeah, I'm Thor without his hammer.
You're not the god of hammers. You're Dumbo.
Doesn't sound like a compliment.
It's totally a compliment. Dumbo, Dumbo!
Number 2 comes from Iron Man 2, which is its alternate opening. One of the great things from the first Iron Man movie was Tony Stark's character and his kind of cocky attitude, and while nowadays his character has definitely come around and become more of a hero, it's still nice to see that even in the sequel, lightning was able to strike twice, and Robert Downey Jr. portrayed this character in the same way we would expect and want him to come across in a sequel film while he's still kind of going through his character's development arc. It's a really interesting alternate scene, and it's just great acting and overall funny.
Miss me with a shame thrower, will you? I literally just almost died in there. Give me some toast, give me some crackers. Ginger ale, anything. Give me some Advil.
I don't have Advil, I've got Motrin.
Motrin. I'm telling you, there was something seriously wrong.
Yes, there is something seriously
with giving
wrong
a grown
with you.
man Motrin.
It's a
I'm not on my cycle, Pepper!
Ibuprofen!
Abort mission!
But first, before we get into number 1, if you like what we do here at Film Artsy, consider hitting the link down below to get to our Patreon page. You can support us on there by pitching a couple dollars if you have the chance, and it really helps us out a bunch in making these types of videos for you to enjoy. There's some really cool perks out there like shoutouts, and if you want to support us, just check out the link down below and we'd really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into number 1. And finally, number 1 from Avengers Infinity War, What Remains of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This scene apparently almost made it into the final cut, but was just clipped at the very end to make the movie a little bit shorter and keep the pacing up. But this is a great comic relief scene, and it's really, really funny, and we're just gonna play a clip of it now.
The coded message channel? How long has this been on?
But it was so beautiful.
Mantis, a blinking yellow light indicates an important secret coded message.
Shame on you, Mantis.
How long? This was your job.
It was his job.
Drax, you didn't see the blinking yellow light?
I did, but you said if it was yellow, let it mellow. Brown, flesh it down. Those were your orders.
And that's all the time we have for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below. Leave a comment with what your favorite deleted scene in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is. And we'll see you all next time with a brand new video.
And that is why you will always reign.